we will see about discrete time Fourier transform. It is the counterpart of the continuous time Fourier transform. Whatever the Fourier transform we have studied previously, that is continuous time Fourier transform applied on x of t. Now whatever the Fourier transform we are going to study in this third unit, that is a discrete time Fourier transform. So just the name itself is giving the information that it is on the continuous time Fourier transform. Sorry, it is on continuous time signals and it is on discrete time signals. So in case of continuous time Fourier transform, what we have seen already, we have written like this: x of t is the time domain signal, continuous time domain signal. Here you have applied the continuous time Fourier transform. Whatever the result we are getting, that is represented with capital X, because in the time domain here small x is there. In the frequency domain we are taking capital X. Because it is in frequency domain, its independent variable is omega. It is in time domain, its independent variable is t, and here it is omega. Can all of you see the screen properly? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this one already we have seen, and we know the equations also. Those equations also I'm writing here. Fourier transform of x of t is represented with capital X of omega, that is equal to Fourier transform of x of t. Like this we can talk, or x of omega also we can talk. So it is equal to integral. What is the meaning of this one? You have x of t, you are finding the frequency domain representation of x of t. That means already x of t is available with you. So you need to use that x of t. For which signal you are calculating the Fourier transform, that signal has to be placed here. After that, e power minus j omega t dt. And here we are doing the integration with respect to t. So limits are for t only. So t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay. And inverse Fourier transform formula will also be there. That is getting time domain signal from the frequency domain signal. So you have x of omega, you need to get a x of t. So x of t is equal to 1 by 2 pi, because you have x of omega, where omega is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity, e power j omega t d omega. By using this formula, we can calculate the time domain signal. So this is called inverse Fourier transform. Inverse Fourier transform means getting the time domain signal from the frequency domain signal. Okay, first you concentrate on this one. That is Fourier transform. Okay, these all these things are already known things for us. Okay, now what we need to know? We need to know about the DTFT. Okay, so coming to DTFT, as I said, it is applicable on the discrete time signals. So for x of n, already in our basic classes already we know how to represent the discrete signal, that is x of n, y of n, g of n, whatever it may be. Here n is the independent variable. N will take only integer values. Okay, all these basics already we know. Integer values, that is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity, but it will take only integer values. Okay, and x is nothing but amplitude or the signal. What type of signal? Here it is discrete signal. So if you apply, because it is a discrete signal, here we need to talk in terms of DTFT, because here x of t is a continuous time signal, that is CTFT. It is a discrete time signal, that's why DTFT. So you will get a frequency domain signal. It can be represented with x of omega, or it can be represented with x of j omega, or it can also be represented with x of e power j omega. Anything is okay. So for the time being, I'm using this notation only, again x of omega only. But every time I need to mention we are working under DTFT. Okay, we are working under the DTFT. Okay, so now I will write the equation for the DTFT, and once again I'm writing CTFT equation. In comparison with CTFT, I will explain the DTFT equation. So CTFT, in case of CTFT, the Fourier transform of x of t is represented with x of omega, that is equal to integral t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. Like this we will write. 1 minute. Okay, listen. So this is the formula. This is the formula we have seen in case of continuous time Fourier transform. How this formula is written, you understand this one once again. So we have x of t. Okay, we have x of t time domain signal. For this one, the Fourier transform is written, that is represented with capital X of omega. That is equal to integral, because we are dealing with time domain signal, so time is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity. Here we need to write the signal for which we are calculating the Fourier transform. Okay, after writing the signal, e power minus j omega t dt. Okay, now I am going to write dtft equation. Already I said that in case of dtft, we have x of n. Okay, for that x of n, we need to find the Fourier transform, and that is also represented with the x of omega. For the timing, you take like that. So it is equal to, it is discrete. In the previous classes I have mentioned that integration, discrete, I have given the difference in between these two. Integration is for addition, this sigma is also for addition only, both are for summation purpose only, but integration is for continuous summation. When you are dealing with continuous signals, you can use this integration, but when you are dealing with discrete values, you need to use sigma. Both purpose is same. Since we are working in DTFT, since we are working with discrete signals in DTFT, this sigma is converted to, sorry, this integration is converted to sigma. And already I said that this is the place for the signal for which you are calculating the DTFT. So for which signal you are calculating the DTFT? X of n. Next. Now you see here x of t is there. So t values are changing from minus infinity to plus infinity. Here x of n is there. So n values are changing from minus infinity to plus infinity. Next, e power minus j omega. In place of n, sorry, in place of t, n should come, because we are dealing with this discrete signal. For example, x of t is there. X of t is some signal. Here t will be there. X of n means only samples will be available. Okay, here n is there. So here n is the independent variable changing from minus infinity to plus infinity. So every t value is changed with n. So here also e power minus j omega t is there. Here I have written e power minus j omega n. For if integration is there, dt we will write. For sigma we will not write anything. Okay. So this is the formula for the DTFT. So you are going to work with this formula only. Okay. You highlight this formula. Sigma n is from minus infinity to plus infinity x of n e power minus j omega n. Okay. Exactly similar to CTFT formula only. In place of integration, you need to take sigma, and anyway you are dealing with the x of n discrete signal. So x of t is replaced with x of n. Here I have represented with x of n. You can take any discrete signal, g of n, h of n, r of n, whatever it may be. Next, e power is common, e power minus j omega. Already said that we are replacing the continuous signal with the discrete signal. So that means we are replacing the continuous time variable t with the discrete time variable n. That's it. The formula is over. Now we can start doing the problems. Okay. If you have any doubt in this formula procedure, you can ask me. Now, so I'm writing once again that formula. X of omega is equal to sigma n is from minus infinity to plus infinity x of n e power minus j omega n. The procedure is same. How you have calculated the Fourier transforms or the Laplace transforms till now, in the same procedure here also you need to follow. Nothing is there. Very simple. If you are perfect with the transforms, whatever we have completed till now, then it is easy. But you need to work here with respect to discrete domain. Okay, that's it. So we will see one problem now. That is fine. I'll have to write down the problem. Find DTFT or discrete time Fourier transform of the signal f of n. F of n is equal to a power n u of n where modulus of k is less than 1. Okay, why here less than 1? What is the necessity of giving the less than 1 means? If it is greater than 1, what will happen? If it is less than 1, what will happen? That clarity you should have. By this time, you should understand what is happening to the signal with some condition. Okay, that clarity you should have. It is already you have completed Laplace transform. Once again, here one important information I am giving. So listen carefully and write that one in the note point. Fourier series is for periodic signals. Fourier transform, whether it is continuous time Fourier transform or discrete time Fourier transform, it is for non-periodic, periodic. The signal must be absolutely integrable or the energy signal. Okay, and it is not applied for. Okay, Fourier transform is not applicable to unstable signal. Laplace transform. You can take all, but it is continuous time. So here new thing will come, that is ROC. For certain values of sigma only, for this unstable signals also the Fourier transform, the Laplace transform is defined. Fourier transform is not applicable to any unstable signal. That is confirmed. Okay, for remaining signals you can able to apply the Fourier transform, whether it is a CTFT or DTFT. You have completed this Laplace transform. Laplace transform, for example, if you take e power 2t into u of t, e power 2t into u of t, it is like e power at into u of t. Its Laplace transform is given by 1 by s minus a, that means 1 by s minus 2, and modulus of sigma is greater than 2. With this condition only, this Laplace transform is valid. If you don't mention this ROC, this Laplace transform is invalid. As long as this condition is satisfied, the Laplace transform is available. But if you take the Fourier transform, it is here Laplace transform. E power 2t of t, if you remember this one, in the class itself, in the first class of the, or in the second class of the Fourier transform, I have given this type of signal only, and we have proved that there is no Fourier transform for e power 2t into u of t, because it is unstable signal. If you try to draw this signal, because here u of t is there, the signal will come on right side. At t is equal to 0, e power 0 is 1. As t is increasing, e power is increasing and getting the infinity value as t is increasing. So it is a neither energy nor power signal or the unstable signal. For unstable signals, if you try to calculate the Fourier transform, you will get infinity. So this is not the proper answer. So we can tell there is no Fourier transform for e power 2t u of t. But for e power 2t into u of t, Laplace transform is there. In the similar manner, a power n into u of n. Now for this one, this is the first signal we have taken in the DTFT. Remember that one. Okay. And for this one, we are going to calculate the DTFT now. And condition is given as modulus of A is less than 1. Just you check, modulus of A is greater than 1. This is the condition I am checking now. This is the problem they have given, but I am checking this one. Modulus of A is greater than 1 means I can take 2. A is equal to, I can take, so modulus of A is 2, that is greater than 1. I am checking this condition. So the given signal will become like this. F of n is equal to 2 power n into u of n, because u of n is the signal is on right side. At n is equal to 0, 2 power 0 is 1. So one sample will get. Next at n is equal to 1, 2 power 1, that is 2. At n is equal to 2 power 2 is 4. Like that, if you take n value is infinity, 2 power infinity is infinity. So like this, the signal amplitude is increasing. Okay, and we know that at t is equal to, at n is equal to plus or minus infinity, if the amplitude is infinity, that is called unstable signal. Unstable. How e power at into u of t is going like this, this signal is also going like this. Okay, it is getting the infinity amplitude. Okay, so it is unstable signal. We are not dealing with here Laplace transform. Laplace transform is actually for continuous signals only. Here we are dealing with this particular discrete Fourier transform only. It is the Fourier transform. So it is applicable for stable signals only. Whether it is continuous time or the discrete time, it is applicable for stable signals only. So a power n u of n, where if you take modulus of A is greater than 1, the signal is the unstable signal. So we cannot apply Fourier transform, or DTFT is not available. Surely it is not available. That's why in the question, they have mentioned that f of n is equal to modulus of A power n u of n where modulus of A is less than 1. With this condition only we can able to calculate the DTFT, because A is less than 1 means now you can take A is equal to 0.2 or 0.9 or 0.5, whatever it may be. Now you try to draw this signal. You will not get infinity in this particular signal. At n is equal to 0, A power 0 is 1. At n is equal to 1, that means 0.2 whole power 1, that is 0.2. Next to 0.2 whole power 2, that means 0.04. Like this, the signal value is decreasing and becoming 0. Okay, this is the trace. Better like this. In this way, amplitude is decreasing from 1 to 0 only. It is not continuous. It is decreasing from 1 to 0. So it is not having infinite amount of amplitude. So it is stable signal. Since it is stable, it will have the DTFT. So I can apply the DTFT formula. So what is the DTFT formula? F of omega is equal to sigma n is from minus infinity to plus infinity. F of n, in place of x of n, I can write f of n e power minus j omega n. Okay, this is the introduction part. Now we need to calculate the DTFT. That's it. Very simple. Okay, don't confuse here. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the middle also. No problem. Okay. So now our signal is modulus of a whole power n into u of n. Any signal is multiplied with u of n, then that signal will become right-handed signal from the starting onwards. I am telling this one. That means it will be available from 0 to infinity. When n is changing from 0 to infinity, the signal is available. So you no need to think about minus infinity to 0. Okay, it is not required. So the sigma values I will change. Sigma n is from, actually we need to do the summation from minus infinity to plus infinity, but because f of n is the right sided signal, I can take from 0 to infinity. What is f of n? Modulus of a whole power n into u of n. Already I have taken the condition here, right side only. So this u of n I can remove, or in the next step also you can remove. I am removing here only. E power minus j omega n. Okay. Next, a power, or I will write in terms of x. X power m into y power m. It can be written as xy power m. Next, y power m whole power n can be written as y power m into n. Here multiplication will be done. Using these basics, I am rewriting this one. It is equal to sigma n is from 0 to infinity a power n. By default, you can take modulus e power minus j omega whole power n. E power x whole power y, e power xy. So minus j omega into n will be minus j omega n. Without changing any value, I can write like this. So I have applied this one. Okay. Then it is equal to sigma n is from 0 to infinity. You see, now apply this one. Something to the power of m, another thing to the power of m. Same power is there, but these two are multiplied. So we can multiply these two bases at once. Then we can put this power. So a power n, next e power minus j omega. This is also having the power n only. So I can write a into e power minus j omega whole power n. Like this I can write. Okay. Then it is equal to, now substitute the n values. If I take n is equal to 0, a into e power minus j omega whole power 0. Something to the power of 0 is 1. Next, n is equal to 1. A into e power minus j omega whole power 1. Next, a into e power minus j omega whole power 2 plus a into e power minus j omega whole power 3, and up to so on, up to infinity we have to substitute. Okay, then if you observe this sequence, now what is the answer? One sequence I have written. If you see left side, what is there? DTFT is there. Okay, so here I need to get DTFT. DTFT is ready now. Just the summation we have to perform. How we can do this summation means, if you observe this sequence, it is in geometric progression. What is geometric progression? For example, B plus BR plus BR square plus BR cube plus and so on. Actually, A is there in the basics, but here already one A is there, you will be confused. That's why I have taken B. Some starting value is required. That starting value is multiplied by one number like R. That means the first term is multiplied with R to get the second term. To get the third term, again the second term is multiplied with the same R. BR is multiplied with R, you will get BR square. And to get the fourth term, the third term should be multiplied with the same R. Then you will get this one. Okay, so that is called common ratio. By what we are multiplying to get the next term, that is called the common ratio. What is the common ratio here? R is the common ratio. And what is the first one? This is nothing but common ratio. And B is nothing but starting value. Starting value. Now, if you know that, then we can tell if this sequence is followed this condition. That what is that condition? Some common ratio is there. To get the next term, the previous term has to be multiplied with that common ratio. This has to be followed for entire sequence. Then we can tell that is the geometric progression. That sequence is in geometric progression. Whenever the sequence is in geometric progression, the sum of that particular geometric progression is given by B by 1 minus R. B is nothing but starting value. Starting value by 1 minus common ratio. Okay, starting value by 1 minus common ratio. This is possible whenever that common ratio is less than 1. Okay, modulus of that common ratio is less than 1. Now, first you check whether this particular thing is available in the GP or not, geometric progression or not. Some first value is there. To get the second value, this first value has to be multiplied with what? A into e power minus j omega. 1 into A into e power minus j omega, you will get A into e power minus j omega. To get the third term, this second term should be multiplied with again with A into e power minus j omega. 2 times A into e power minus j omega is coming, that's why here power 2 is there. Next, to get this fourth term, this third term has to be multiplied with again the common ratio, that is A into e power minus j omega. So in this particular sequence, we can tell geometric progression is available. Okay, because in order to get the next term, the previous term is multiplied with some common ratio, that is A into e power minus j omega. So here the starting value is 1. B is nothing but starting value. I'm representing like that, start value. And common ratio is equal to A into e power minus j omega. A into e power minus j omega. And now you check whether this condition is satisfied or not. What is that common ratio? Magnitude of common ratio is magnitude of e power, magnitude of A into e power j omega. This one I'm calculating, that is magnitude of k into magnitude of e power minus j omega. This one we know, e power j theta magnitude is 1. Okay, that is 1. So it is equal to A into magnitude of A, means this is magnitude of A. In the given problem itself, I have given that magnitude of A is less than 1. So here that is helpful. So whenever it is less than 1, then only we can apply this formula. Okay, that's why that condition is very, very important. Now the condition has been satisfied. In order to use this particular formula, the condition is satisfied. Magnitude of R is also less than 1 we got. So we can use that particular formula in order to add this one. So instead of writing this entire summation, now the summation is nothing but this one. Starting value by 1 minus common ratio. What is that starting value? 1. by starting value 1, that already we have identified, by according to the formula 1 minus this is r is nothing but common ratio. What is that common ratio? A into e power minus j omega over, this is the DTFT for the given signal. So here I am writing a power n u of n, where magnitude of a is less than 1, is having the DTFT 1 by 1 minus a into e power minus j omega. A power n u of n, magnitude of a is greater than 1, DTFT, no DTFT, because the given signal is unstable signal. One by 2 whole power n u of n, magnitude of 1 by 2 is less than 1, so the given signal is the stable signal. What is the DTFT? 1 by 1 minus, what is the a value by comparing 1 by 2? Compare these two, a value you will get 1 by 2. So in the answer also you put a is nothing but 1 by 2 e power minus j omega. But if I give like this, 2 power n into u of n, where 2 is greater than 1, that means it is unstable signal, so no DTFT, because 2 power n u of n is unstable. Okay, don't think that, don't remember just formula, how this formula is coming, and what is the condition to get that formula is important. So by seeing the problem itself for 3 power n into u of n, so it is looking like a power n into u of n, so answer will be 1 by 1 minus 3 into e power minus j omega. Like this you should not write. Okay, here a is equal to 3, it is greater than 1, so the given signal is unstable signal. For unstable signals, the Fourier transform is not applicable, so you should not write the answer. Like this you need to write, whether it is 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it may be. Okay, that is the thing.
Sir.
Did you understand this one, or if you have any doubt you can ask.
Yes, sir.
Hello students, వింటున్నారా?
Sir.
ఓకే, క్లారిటీ ఉందా ఇది స్క్రీన్ వాయిస్?
Yes, sir.
ఓకే ఓకే, did you write this one? All of you should write. Parallelly you try to write. Okay, next one. Find DTFT for f of n is equal to minus a power n u of minus n minus 1, where magnitude of a is greater than 1. This is the problem. Okay, first we will do the solution, then we will talk about any condition is there, like that we will see. So given thing is f of n is equal to minus a power n u of minus n minus 1. The formula for the DTFT is f of omega is equal to sigma n is from minus infinity to plus infinity, f of n e power minus j omega n. First we need to see the given signal is from which n value to which n value, that we need to identify, because we cannot do this particular summation from minus infinity to plus infinity. We need to see from what value of n to the what value of n the given signal is available. So if you see the given signal minus a power n u of minus n minus 1, so that depends upon this u of minus n minus 1 only. So first I will talk about this u of minus n minus 1, u of minus n minus 1, this one we have to draw. So what we know, u of n we know, u of n means it will be like this, 0 1 2 3, amplitude is 1 on right side, so here 1 is there. Next, in order to draw this one, first shifting property I am applying. So u of n minus 1, so it is the delayed version of u of n by 1 second. 0 1 2 3 4 like that it is there. So this total n axis should be added by 1. So whatever the sample is available at n is equal to 0, that will be at n is equal to 1 now. So signal starts at n is equal to 1. Here there is no sample. At n is equal to 0, there is no sample now. Okay. Then next what is there? This time reversal is there. So u of minus n minus 1. So in order to get this time reversal, we have to rotate the signal with respect to y-axis. In this particular signal, the samples are available from 1 to infinity. 1 to infinity. So how to draw this one? We have to rotate the signal. This particular signal, okay, this particular signal with respect to y-axis. So the sample which is at n is equal to 1 will be at n is equal to minus 1. The sample is at n is equal to 2 will be at n is equal to minus 2. We are rotating the signal with respect to y-axis. Mirror image will be at minus 3, minus 4, like this you will get and up to minus infinity. And here amplitude is 1. Amplitude will not be affected because we are doing the time operations. So what did you understand now? This u of minus n minus 1 is the signal available from, this is the signal available from minus infinity to minus 1. Minus infinity is less than n, less than or equal to 1. These are the limits of this particular signal. Okay, so for n is equal to 0 to infinity, there is no signal. Here there is no signal. So in this summation also, we need to use this n values only, because the signal is having the non-zero amplitude during that n values only. So I will modify the sigma like this. Sigma n is from minus infinity to minus 1, including the minus 1. Okay, at n is equal to minus 1 also sample is there. So sigma at n is equal to minus infinity to minus 1, we have to do the summation. And what is f of n? Given thing is minus a power n minus a power n e power minus j omega n. Okay, this summation we have to solve now. So it is equal to this minus I am writing in front of this. So minus sigma n is from minus infinity to minus 1 a power n e power minus j omega. This one I am writing as power. N I am writing as power. A power m whole power n is equal to a power m into n. These two will be multiplied. You will get again same thing. Okay. Then it is equal to minus sigma n is from minus infinity to plus infinity. This can be written as a into e power minus j omega whole power n. Okay, this power n can be applied to a and can be applied to e power minus j omega. So we will get the previous one only without any change. Okay. So what the formulas I have taken there? X power m whole power n is equal to x power mn. This one I have applied first. Then
సార్
x power a
సార్ లిమిట్స్ ఎందుకు చేంజ్
y
చేశారు
power
సార్ మైనస్
a.
ఇన్ఫినిటీ టు
This
ఇన్ఫినిటీ
one is
రాశారు
written as
సార్
xy power a.
ఓకే
Like
సార్
this I can write. Okay. Now come to this one.
సార్
చెప్పమ్మా.
సార్ లిమిట్స్ ఎందుకు చేంజ్ చేశారు సార్ మైనస్ ఇన్ఫినిటీ టు ఇన్ఫినిటీ రాశారు సార్
సరే మిస్టేక్ అది.
ఓకే సార్
Okay. Then we have to apply the limits now. That means we have to do the summation. Actually here lower limit and upper limit. In case of continuous integral, this point you have to understand carefully. Listen. In case of continuous summation, for example, integral a to b, here one function is there. You can try your own by taking any some example like x with respect to x integration, or x square with respect to x integration, or t with respect to t integration, whatever it may be. Just I am giving the function here. Integral a to b f of x dx. For example, this answer is 2. Now you try this one. Integral b to a f of x dx. You take any function. F of x means like any, in terms of x you can take any function. You will get surely here you will get -2. Okay. What we have done, limits we have interchanged. A to b integration is 2, but b to a integration is -2. But sigma n is equal to 1 to 3. Here one example I am giving, like n only I am giving. What we will get? N is equal to 1 to 3 we have to change. And what is the function here? N only. Okay. Otherwise, if you confuse, I will take here n square. Now you take n is equal to 1. What you will get? 1 square plus n is equal to 2 square, n is equal to 3, 3 square. This is the summation we will get. How much we will get? 1 plus 4 plus 9, that is equal to 14 we are getting. Now you perform this one. Sigma n is from 3 to 1. Okay, same thing we are doing. Here integral a to b, integral b to a. Here you got 2, here you got -2. But if you take like this, sigma 1 to 3, one function I have taken, that is n square, and it is 14 we got. Now we are changing the limits, that is from lower limit is 3 and upper limit is 1. Again the same function n square. Now lower limit is 3, so 3 square plus the next one is 2, 3 to 1. Okay, 2 and next is 1. Here you will get 9 plus 4 plus 1, again 14 only you will get. So in case of discrete summation, even you are interchanging these limits, 1 to 3 you are doing the integration, or that means a discrete summation, or 3 to 1 you are doing the discrete summation, there is no change in the answer. Answer is same. But this one you should not apply in the continuous integrals. In case of continuous domain, you should not apply that one. Okay, see the change in between these two. In case of discrete, it is possible. Okay, we can get the same answer even you are interchanging the lower limit and upper limit. But in case of continuous integrations, we cannot do like that. The integration will be multiplied with minus. Okay, now we are working with the discrete domain only, discrete summation only. So instead of taking the limits from -infinity to -1, I can take from -1 to -infinity. This is the change you have to observe. Okay, from this step to this step, what is the change I have taken? The lower limit and upper limit I have changed. With this analysis, I can change that one. Whether I am adding from 1 to 3 or 3 to 1, I will get the same answer. So I can write like this. Okay, and actually I no need to write like that also. Instead of substituting from the lower limit, I can substitute from the upper limit only. But for your convenience, I am writing this step, and this is the reason for that. Why? Without changing anything, how can I change the limits? Means in the discrete summation I can change like this. Whether I am adding from 1 to 10 or 10 to 1, I will get the same answer. Simple logic. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10, you will get some answer. Or 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus up to 1 also, you will get the same answer. Okay, so that we can able to take like this. Now I am writing the same function, a into e power minus j omega whole power n. it is equal to this minus. You don't forget about that minus. Here minus is there. Next, what is the first value now? N is equal to minus 1. Substitute here. So a into e power minus j omega whole power minus 1 plus. What is the second value? N is equal to minus 2. A into e power minus j omega power minus 2 plus a into e power minus j omega power minus 3. Finally, you will get minus infinity. So here you will get minus infinity. What is the a value actually? In this problem, it is greater than 1. In the previous problem, it is less than 1. Okay, in this problem, it is greater than 1. So, in the DTFT, what problem you are taking, what is the a value? That also you have to remember. By practice, you will get it. Because in this particular problem, if a is greater than 1, then only the signal will be stable signal. It will become stable. In this problem, if it is less than 1, as we have seen in the previous problem, it will become unstable. Okay, a power n into u of n means a should be less than 1. That is our first problem. Now we are dealing with minus a to the power of n u of minus n minus 1, where a should be greater than 1. Okay, so here we have what is the last value of n here? Minus infinity. So for example, a I am taking 2 power minus infinity will become 0. So finally you will getting 0. That means it is the stable signal. You can get stable by taking a is equal to, that is greater than 1 value only, 10 or 15 like that. You can take any value of a which is greater than 1, that is good. Okay, then what I'm telling, okay, it is up to some value you will get, finally 0 will get. Now we have to add this one. Again same thing, it is in GP, but the first term itself is a into e power minus j omega whole to the power of minus 1. For the first term, here I am writing starting value. Starting value is I am representing with p, a into e power minus j omega whole power minus 1. What is the second value? A into e power minus j omega whole power minus 2. How did we get this one? By multiplying this first one with a into e power minus j omega power minus 1. By multiplying with this one only, we are getting the second one. How you are getting the third one from the second one? Again by multiplying a into e power minus j omega whole power minus 1. So what is the common ratio? Common ratio is also same. Okay, so you have starting value and you have common ratio. You can get the answer. So finally, f of omega dtft. But here in front of this one minus is there. Don't forget that one minus. Now for this entire summation, we can use the geometric progression summation, that is starting value by, what is the formula? Starting value by 1 minus common ratio. What is the starting value? A into e power minus j omega whole power minus 1. This is the starting value by 1 minus, what is the common ratio? Common ratio is also a into e power minus j omega minus 1. Many people will confuse here in between the previous problem and this problem. Lot of practice is required. Okay, and if you forget this minus, you will get the wrong answer. That's why that many times I am telling. So it is equal to x power minus 1 means we can write 1 by x. So apply that one. Here a into e power minus j omega minus 1 is there. So I can write 1 by a into e power minus j omega by 1 minus, it is also can be written as 1 by a into e power minus j omega. It is equal to minus of 1 by a into e power minus j omega by cross multiplying or by taking LCM, a into e power minus j omega minus 1 by a into e power minus j omega. This one will be cancelled. It is equal to minus of 1 by a into e power minus j omega minus 1. It is equal to, multiply this minus inside, you will get 1 by 1 minus a into e power minus j omega. If you observe one thing, did you observe that a power n u of n. It is our first problem. What is the DTFT you got? 1 by 1 minus a into e power minus omega only you got. And now we have done the second problem, that is minus a power n into u of minus n minus 1. For this also you got the same answer. 1 by 1 minus a into e power minus omega. Okay, same answer you will get. But here modulus of a is less than 1. Here modulus of a is greater than 1. That is the change. Okay. By seeing these two answers are same, but the problem is different, because in the first case the a value should be less than 1. So 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, 3 by 4, like that only you will get the problems like this. But in the second one you cannot take this 1 by 2. Okay, 1 by 2 whole to the power of n. ఇక్కడ మైనస్ పెట్టేసి u of minus n minus 1 means, for this one what is the DTFT means, you cannot write 1 by 1 minus 1 by 2, because a is equal to 1 by 2, you cannot write like this, because this is valid when here modulus of a should be greater than 1. Here 1 by 2 is less than 1, so here there is no DTFT. For this one answer is 1 by 1 minus a into 1 by 2 into e power minus j omega. Don't think that these two answers are same, because a is different, the answer will be different. In the books they have given with respect to a only, a power n u of n, answer is 1 by 1 minus a into e power minus j omega, and the second problem is minus a to the power of n u of minus n minus 1, answer is 1 by 1 minus a into e power minus j omega. By seeing these two answers are looking same, but if you know the concept, these two answers are different, because the first one is valid whenever a is less than 1. That means a cannot be 2, a cannot be 3, a can be only the fractional values only, a should be less than 1 only. Okay, then in the second one a should be greater than 1 only. So at the same time a cannot be less than 1, a cannot be greater than 1 at the same time. Okay, in order to use the first one a should be less than 1 only, and in order to use the second one a should be greater than 1 only. So at the same time it is not possible to have two values, that's why these two answers are different only. Okay, so mathematically they are looking like that, but those are different only. So don't confuse, uh, don't forget to write this particular conditions also. Okay, these conditions are important. Okay, once again this note point I will write, those two I will write again at one place. A power n u of n modulus of a is less than 1. If you apply DTFT, 1 by 1 minus a into e power minus j omega minus a to the power of n u of minus n minus 1. Here modulus of a is greater than 1. Answer is 1 by 1 minus a into e power minus j omega. Now do some problems. Okay, find DTFT. All of you write down. Find DTFT for x of n is equal to 2 power n into u of n 1 by 2 power n u of n minus 2 power n u of minus n minus 1 minus 1 by 2 whole power n u of minus n minus 1. It is equal to minus 2 whole power n u of n minus 1 by 2 whole power n u of n minus minus 2 whole power n u of minus n minus 1. It is equal to minus 1 by 2 whole power n u of minus n minus 1. Don't apply the formula. Okay, do the procedure. Okay, by using the discrete time Fourier transform formula, you need to solve it. Don't apply the formula means I mean don't use this one directly. Okay, use that DTFT formula. X of omega is equal to sigma n is from minus infinity to plus infinity x of n e power minus j omega n. Okay, this is the thing you have to use. In what is the condition means that x of n must be absolutely summable. That means it must be less than infinity. Otherwise, always I will tell signal must be stable signal. Anything is okay. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
this I am stopping.
Yes, sir.
If you have any doubt, you can ask. Is it okay? Hello. Hello.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.